Unnatural death and death in a state of bodily attachment are not only painful, they also obscure memory. Of course, unless one is spiritually advanced, it is not always desirable to remember one's former life. The after-death oblivion of one's previous identity allows him to forget his past consciousness of failure, pain, and attachments, and to begin life anew. The only disadvantage is that if he has not learned from past wrong actions, he may repeat those experiences, ignoring the warning of their consequences, just as the inveterate alcoholic continues to drink the infernal liquid, even with the conscious knowledge of probable death from liver damage. Though the pure consciousness of the soul maintains a continuity of remembrance from one life to another, the body-identified consciousness does not. The fact is, memory after death cannot survive under the following conditions. A. If there is attachment to the body. B. If there is attachment for past possessions, family, or friends. C. If there is a strong entanglement in bad karma. And if one has not risen above the effects of both good and bad actions. If, as in A and B, the newborn soul remembered and was attached to its previous body, possessions, family, or friends, imagine the agony and frustration the soul would feel in a new incarnation. It would not like to begin a different life amidst a new environment, a new family, and new friends. The soul is a brother to all mankind. Imagine how narrow it would become if it loved only one small circle of human beings. It would not expand, and it wouldn't let those other souls expand to reach the ultimate goal of unity. We must realize this oneness of our soul with all souls in the unity of the one spirit, and it is impossible to do so unless the soul expands its sphere of family and friends to include all. In the case of C above, the soul would be extremely discouraged, remembering past bad karma, struggles, and suffering, and wouldn't have the will to make new effort to progress. It would forget its transcendent nature. At the conclusion of each lifetime, death washes away all dark impressions, memories of failures and sins, and prejudiced conceptions, so that the soul can begin afresh to express itself in newer ways and make newer efforts to rise above and free itself from matter. How to cut the cords of the soul's attachments. Following are the ways to cut the cords of the soul's attachments in order to release it. 1. Practice titiksha, the art of remaining even-minded while watching and analyzing bodily changes. A. During extreme heat. B. During severe cold. C. During a fever. D. While suffering from a head cold. Concentrate on the nasal cartilage and mucous membrane. E. During pain from a wound or other bodily affliction. Don't try to ignore it. Watch it as a diminishing feeling of sensation, manifesting to you only as a matter of knowledge. You will find that the greater your knowledge about its specific nature, the less will be the feeling of pain associated with it. Thus learn to distinguish between knowledge of a bodily condition reported by the sensation of pain and the terrible fear or agony that is self-inflicted by the idea habit of pain. F. During a sorrowful state of mind. G. During the state of mind when it is overjoyed to possess a longed-for object. The above teaches endurance and an objective non-attachment, and thereby produces a super-feeling, a super-conscious phase of consciousness, by which changing bodily conditions are looked upon with an academic interest, and the restless excitement of sensations is neutralized. 2. Analyze and feel how the sensations of color and form, sounds, odors, tastes, and touch are transmitted through the channel of the nerves to the optical, auditory, olfactory, gustatory, and tactual centers in the brain. Watch the stimulus proceed from the tympanum as an auditory vibration in the nerves, or a vibration of taste proceeding from the mouth as when eating tasty curries, or tactual vibrations coming from stimuli on the outer surface of the body. 3. Feel the movements of the diaphragm, the expansion and deflation of the lungs, the beating heart. Feel the circulation in the body. It is strongly felt after a leg or hand has been asleep. It can also be felt rushing to the brain during anger or other emotions. A man of keen perception and concentration can feel even normal circulation. 4. Learn to cause movements in each muscle individually through muscle will exercise. 5. Analyze the sensation of thirst. Then drink hot or cold water and follow the sensation from mouth to throat through the esophagus to the stomach. Watch the body states during a 24-hour fast, then observe how food goes into the system. Feel the closing of the epiglottis as the food passes over it and into the alimentary canal. Feel the movement of the stomach. Feel the peristaltic action of the intestines. 6. Notice how smelling salts or perfumes strike the olfactory region. Stir the brain cells into action and become elaborated into perception and conception. Try this with various odors and tastes. Feel the immediate thoughts generated by a given sensation. See if you can separate sensation, perception, and conception. Try to distinguish between a given sensation and the memory of it through association of ideas. That is, try to distinguish between the flavor of a specific apple and that of previously tasted apples. Don't mix the two. 7. Distinguish in music, apart from its variations and undulations, the feeling engendered by it through the different notes, from lower to higher, its general vibrations on the tympanum and on the whole body surface, its effect on the breath and on the inner walls of the body, and its transmission through the tympanum to the brain. 8. Feel the sensation of the ingoing and outgoing breath in the lungs. Observe how breathing is affected by your surroundings, your thoughts, your actions. Conversely, scrutinize the thoughts and feelings generated in you by changes in the depth or rhythm of the breath. 9. Be aware of the perfect state and sense of well-being during good health. If pain of disease comes, before crying out, try to analyze what it is. Strive to separate the physiological malfunction from the mental process that translates sensation into pain through the habit of fear and imagination. 10. Above all, the greatest method is to hold more and more to the calm, breathless, conscious, powerful state that follows a long period of concentrated prayer, or deep positive thinking, or repetition of hymns or affirmations, or, highest of all, meditation, stilling body and mind with the self-realization Yogoda Satsanga, technique of concentration, merging the consciousness with the sound of Avam, and magnetizing the spine and brain by practice of Kriya Yoga. When the heart and breath are calm, when the heaviness of body weight disappears and you feel light, when sensations are neutralized and the mind is still, the soul begins to know itself as existing apart from the body. The object of all the foregoing practices is to separate the soul from matter. Sensations must be of intellectual interest with non-attached feeling. You must be able to completely disassociate and distinguish your own existence and happiness from the pleasant or unpleasant feelings of your senses and other bodily experiences. When you change the center of consciousness, perception, and feeling from the body and mind to the soul, your true, immortal, transcendental self, you will have the yogi's mastery over life and victory over death.